Hello, amazing humans in the globe. So, is it in the globe or around the globe? I mean, we're not really in the globe because that would be like, get me out. Okay, so anyhow, I want to talk to you about the neuroscience of belief, okay? Why? Because remember, manifestation, doesn't matter who you follow, is about belief. Belief to the point of conviction, okay? So conviction is yet basically just saying that there's a stronger belief, right? And this belief is your dominant belief. But what's happening? Why is it happening that way? How can we actually create a strong self-concept understanding the neuroscience of belief? That's what we're going to dive deep into today, okay? So, neuroscience of belief. This is how it works, okay? Let's say, because belief is also about experience, right? And that's what Neville says when he talks about a state, right? A state is simply just a reinforced, a dominant relationship between beliefs. That's key. It's not one belief, never one belief. It just isn't, because that's not how the mind works, right? And so what you want to deal with and accept is that when you look at a state, it's not one belief. Like, for example, you could be in the state of rich person, but you can be in the state of rich person and being a douche, or you can be in the state of a rich person and being giving. That's still two different states interacting with one another, right? There's more there as well, but though that's just a simple example of how there's more than one belief when you walk into a state, whatever the state is, okay? Now, the state, though, is very dependent upon your past experiences, okay? This is why revision, and we'll do a masterclass on that one as well, is revision is ultimately something that you need to see as necessary, that you do every day, right? And it's a daily practice, a daily routine, and it does change the substance of the past, not just the past events. This is not, by the way, controversial opinion, hashtag unpopular opinion. For me, revision and in my own experience doesn't just change some sort of event, meaning it doesn't change my perspective on the event, it changes the event itself. And it changes the people involved in the event, not just me, right? And so that's been my personal experience. So for me, I'm very passionate about having people understand that, because people think, oh, it's just me looking at a past event and trying to find positive things about it. No, and by the way, do that. That's great, but that's not what revision is. This is why Neville says, if he came here for anything, he came here to teach that, right? So what you want to do is try to fully grasp that a lot of our experiences, every one of our experiences, is ultimately based in the past, right? And so even now, even the moment now, according to neuroscience research, is that a lot of our experience of the now is set in the future, like 2 seconds into the future, because our brain is predicting what's happening next based upon our past experiences. So the best way to not do that is stop predicting, right? Be open, be vulnerable, be open to the beauty of now, and so on and so forth. And there's gonna be more to that as well. And there's gonna be some hacks on that using neuroscience. So let's get back to this class. So belief is very fundamentally formed and shaped by your past experiences, okay? I know there's no such thing as past. There's no such thing as the future. There's only the present. I get it. But for the sake of understanding what's going on, let's just assume that there's past, present, and future. So our beliefs are shaped by and formed by our understanding and experiences of the past. Now, let me give you an example, okay? So let's say it's 8th grade, blah, 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 and you go and it's like 8th grade dance, you have your braces on, you're like really awkward, so is everybody else, and you go into the 8th grade dance and everybody's like right here and they're dancing like 10 feet apart. Whatever it is, right? It's really awkward, it's like zits everywhere, whatever it is, that's 8th grade dance, okay? You get up enough courage to go ask that girl or guy out to dance and they're like, yeah, no, okay? So check this out. What's going to happen, though, is because if you take that rejection on and you emotionally react to it inside, it doesn't matter what you look like on the outside. If you emotionally react to and give value to this experience as a negative experience, okay, and that forms a strong belief, because we don't get all of our beliefs. We get the strong, emotional, reactive beliefs. That's what we're experiencing, okay? So, and by the way, that's a little side commercial. Don't fear everything. Okay, this is not, manifestation should be the opposite of this. And trust me, as somebody who's gone through that and almost like went to OCD because I was fearing every belief, that is not what you want to do. That's not healthy. And that's saying that's somebody who knows all of this. I know all what to do, right? I mean, I'm a behavioral scientist, social psychologist, trained in neuroscience from Harvard, all this kind of stuff, right? But I want to tell you, it's too easy to fall into that trap, and that's not what this is about. So back to our regular scheduled program. So back to the 8th grade nerdy dance, okay? So you just got rejected. That's created now a memory, okay? That memory now goes in because it's being charged by this belief, right? And it's also being recharged by the emotions and feelings of that event. And feelings are not the same as emotions. They are interpretations of the emotions, right? And so now you have emotions and feelings dancing together, ironically. And now you formed a belief. So it went from memory to emotions to belief. This is how you build a self-concept, by the way, a really strong one, rather than just like, I'm strong. That's not a strong self-concept, right? So this is how you form a really robust one. The one that's like, I am the shit and nothing's going to break me, right? So what you want to do is you now want to go back about, go forward like into the future about 20 years. So 8th grade, what, you're like 12, 13, 14, whatever, right? 17, if you've been held back 4 years. So what you want to do is you want to realize that what's happened is you've impacted yourself. So you've created a belief. You live now by that belief. Check this out. Interview, job time, or whatever, or it's like a meeting at work. Now everything looks and feels and smells, and even the touch is all wired now into, whoa, this feels and sounds like an 8th grade dance. You may not mentally be thinking that. I mean, it might have you recall it, right? But what's happening is you have now recalled that memory, okay? And so what happens, though, is your brain is looking at the environment around you, trying to protect you and saying, this looks like 8th grade, so we're not going to do that. So then you get really nervous, and one of two things is going to happen. You're either going to leave and not do the job interview or presentation, or you're going to be like, I'm going to go through and then kind of like basically modify your experience through exposure therapy, right? So that's ultimately what's happening. And so anytime somebody says something and it triggers a memory, clock that immediately. Like even if it, like for me as a stand-up comedian as well, you walk around with a book, okay? And you write the notes down. So do the same thing. Oh, I reacted to that. Why is that? Right? And do that for 7 days straight. This is like the kind of Emmett Fox mental diet challenge, but this is my own version of that challenge, right? You do this for 7 days and you write this down as much as you can, and you recall, and then you figure out what you're recalling, why you're recalling it, and then you figure out, I need to make a strong self-concept that doesn't actually allow that, right, to actually mess with me. So what you do is you create a really strong self-concept. And I know I keep rehashing the same words here, is because I'm trying to give you a lot of repetition. Your brain loves repetition. So self-concept, boom. You've already heard me say this at the beginning. There's 3 major elements. When I say 3, there's 3 major elements. When we hit belief, that could be like a rabbit hole that goes all the way to Wonderland. Okay? That is not meant to flip you off, by the way. So anyhow, it's beliefs, memories, and feelings, right? Beliefs, memories, and feelings. Okay, beliefs, memories, and feelings. Okay, those are the 3 that you want to modify. And if you end up having a memory and you only change the belief, that's how you could end up gaining something really cool and then losing it, because you're still recalling off the old memory. Okay, or if you change the memory but you haven't changed the emotion, then you're still recalling off of the old emotion, right? Same with the beliefs and so on. So you want to be able to do the work of building a strong self-concept of not just yes, start with I am rich or whatever it is, but then go through your memories and be like, okay, so every time I access the idea of I am rich, I get this, like a fight between your parents about money, whatever it is. So you need to revise that scene. Okay. And then every single time that comes up again, point to the scene. I remember when my parents had this amazing date night and they blew out a whole bunch of money and it was amazing and all this kind of stuff. And I remember living in this lavish house, right? Whatever scenes you've created, you're now pointing to those. That's how you start building a strong self-concept. Okay. Is that you build out memories and you revise the old ones, throw those out, and you begin rehearsing the new ones. And then the new ones should be bringing up the new emotions, and what you do is you rehearse those emotions, right? And then that will form the belief of I am rich. And you keep doing this and doing this and doing this until you feel like you don't have to do it anymore, right? And then you know it's the seventh day. It's the Sabbath day. You've impressed the subconscious. You did it, right? So hopefully this was helpful. Again, there's more to this. As you can tell, most of the videos I do, there's way more we could go into, and that's why I do more and more and more. But I'm also happy to hear from you and happy to hear any questions or clarifications. Also, I do coaching on a regular basis. You can hit me up over on Reddit, down here in the messages, on LinkedIn, on the Joy Plus app, which is on, I believe, on Apple. So download that. I'm in that, the Joy app there. So much love to you guys all. Thank you for your listening, and I will see you soon, peeps.